Hi guys, how's it going? It is your boy Brad SK22 back here again with another video, and today we're doing another reaction of something that I've done before. And let me just show you. On my channel on the 18th of November I did a behind the scenes of Mrs. Brown's Boys on the 18th of November. I checked this the other day and I had talking to my mate who also subscribes, and she told me I got a load of views on this video, and I was in shock because I wasn't expecting to have this much views. But as you can see, I've got 216 views on the behind the scenes. So because it's my most popular video on this channel so far, I thought I'd decide to react to a film. I have done a behind the scenes of a TV show, Mrs. Brown's Boys. Today we are reacting to the one and only It 2 behind the scenes. If you haven't seen it, then you are missing out. Some people might have not have seen it because they're scared of the Pennywise, the clown, or they're not just a big fan of horror. But I love horror. I never used to like it growing up as a kid, but I've got right into them this lockdown. I've watched a lot. I've actually gone back and watched a lot that I used to watch that scared me when I was younger. And the remake of It and It 2, I've gone back and watched together, and I enjoyed watching it. So if you guys don't know what It 2 is, let's get it up so you can have a look. So basically this is it. It's Pennywise for you, 2 balloons, and it is a horror slash thriller movie. The second part 2 of the film, is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. So the first one, if you haven't seen it, it starts off with 2 kids. You've got Georgie and you've got Bill. So basically the first film is basically at the beginning. Unfortunately, Georgie dies by Pennywise. So Bill is gone around trying to find his brother for so long because he went missing, and it basically ended with a group of kids coming together because they all mysteriously out of the blue were seeing red balloons. They were getting clowns coming after them. They were seeing the most things that used to terrify them happen a lot. And the way that the director did this film was outstanding, and I'm really glad they actually did the second one. And at the end of the first one, the group of the kids made an oath saying in 27 years, when Pennywise would return, they would come back and defeat him yet again, but as adults. So basically we are back at chapter 2, and after 27 years the Losers Club received a call from their friend Mike, one of the people from the group, and he said that the Pennywise is back. They decided to honour their promise that they made when they was younger and return to their old town to end the evil clown for good. And I really enjoyed watching it. I really did. It's one of my favourite films. The jump scares it has in it. The trailer was outstanding before we even got the It 2 film, and it got everyone on edge. I know, like I've said, I know some people don't like it because they don't like horrors or they don't like clowns. But I never used to like clowns when I was younger. Never. I hated them. But weirdly I grew out of that, and I watch films with clowns in them, and I don't mind it. I'm not scared by it or anything like that. So it's very weird, but I really enjoy this film. So today I thought, with my channel and the video on my channel getting so much views, why not try a film behind the scenes? And because I like horror, I thought I'd do a behind the scenes of a horror film. If this is not your type of genre, I am sorry if you're scared of clowns. I am sorry. But we're just going to jump straight in. So let's make sure you've got your drink. Make sure you've got your snacks. I've got my cup of tea right next to me, waiting for it to happen. So let's jump in, and this is behind the scenes of It 2. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a picture wrap on Bill Skarsgård.
I remember when we wrapped the first movie, the last day of the shoot, feeling every
I have to say, I know I've only just paused it, but the character that plays It, the way that he got into his role, like he did interviews, and the directors did interviews, and they've said he took a good, and if I'm wrong, I am sorry, but he took a fair bit of time, sat in his mirror, in his changing rooms, makeup room, or anything like that, to get in character. He wanted to be this horrible clown that shapeshift into your worst horror nightmares, and he drove off of the kids' fears, and he became Pennywise. He become Pennywise, and to have that much focus and that much, to have that drive inside of you to make sure you do this character that you want to portray to 100%, you cannot dwell on him for that, because there's been interviews where he's shown him getting into character just like that, where someone can ask him who's interviewing him, he looks down and the next minute he looks up, he's got the crazy smile. Yeah, he hasn't got the makeup, but it still looks freaky.
something special here.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
But you don't dare to trust that feeling, because you're like, what if you're wrong? What if this is a disaster? And what if your performance is a disaster? But then it shattered every expectation I think anyone had on it.
Obviously, it's a big deal to see that your vision succeeded. It also gives you a lot of confidence for the bets that you're making on the second one, because you know what works and what doesn't.
And
Amazing
we were
director.
Talking about potential ideas for the sequel, even when we were doing the first one, because we knew that we were going to do the second one.
And action. Yeah, that's beautiful. Chapter 2. I always wanted to make a scarier movie and crank up the horror aspects of it.
Oh, he sure did. Pennywise lives
It was
again.
strange, because I'd been away from Pennywise for almost 2 years. And then Andy wanted me to do a test for a VFX, a motion capture thing. Been away from the character for so long. It's going to be strange just like to go right back into it. And I got the scene like the night before, and Andy's on Skype because he's already in Toronto for pre-production. He goes, okay, action,
And action!
Pennywise is just ever present and just like exploded out of me. I was surprised how much of him was just still there, because the first movie was so much for me was to figure out who the character was.
Oh.
With Bill, he put so much of him into the creation.
Oh, dirty.
The
dirty
nuances
fool.
in his face, the spark in his eyes.
Just the expression that he gives off while playing the character. Oh, I think that's what makes the character more 100% real, and why people actually don't like clowns. Because like the old clowns, they used to scare a lot of people, and then you had the whole thing going on in the world of killer clowns running everywhere, and yeah. But this guy, the way that he makes his eyes go, the way that he smiles, the way that he tones his voice to make it sound creepy, high-pitched and everything, it just brings Pennywise to life. And that's, as an actor, what I expect, or I hope you would want to get your character to come across like, is to bring the character to life off the paper and onto the scene. But that's what I think that people will want to do if they're acting out a role like this.
I really love sitting down with him and talking for hours about the character and the possibilities.
27 years I dreamt of you. I craved you. Oh, I missed you. Waiting for this very moment. Thank you, Flo.
In my preparation for the role the first time, I applied all these sort of crazy psychology to the character.
Oh, I did.
There's a lot of scenes with Pennywise where it's just a physicality or a very technical thing.
It's a tremendously physical performance.
Stephen King.
He works really hard. It's just amazing. It's balletic. It's so good.
The scenes that I tend to really prefer are the ones where you could, be a little bit more subtle's the wrong word for this character, I think, but where you can be a little bit more nuanced, maybe. There's definitely more of those scenes in this one than there were in the first one.
Oh, I remember this.
1, 2.
You okay? The Pennywise that we meet in the second movie is different from the book. He's very defensive in the book. He's offensive when they're kids, and when they come back, he's sort of trying to scare them off. So that shows weakness instantly, because he obviously doesn't want them to be there, because they do pose a threat to him because they almost defeated him the first time.
Grab hands.
And that works in the book, but because the way we're telling the story now in the two separate films, this Pennywise, he really wants them back. He's missed them.
Thank you for bringing them all back. I can smell their fear.
I know what you are. That's why I'm not afraid.
Obviously, that would make for a pretty boring movie if all they do is, oh, this is what we did the first time and did this exact same thing. So for me, it was really important that Pennywise needs to be this sort of arch villain.
Oh, I know what you are. A madman.
It's just an
He needs to
amazing
be
film.
scary and he needs to be threatening. So that was one of the challenges that we had to address.
I used Pennywise as a door opener for all the other things that these kids are scared of. And Andy made the right decision to actually broaden the scope, and the kids see transformations of Pennywise that are his own artistic creations, but they still relate to the various fears and phobias of the kids.
This is Vince Prose. Vince is helping me to bring my nightmares to life. And he's throwing a lot of his nightmares in, and it's quite scary.
We have a version of Pennywise where they're weakening him and he starts to deflate. So Andy wanted him to be almost like a deflating balloon.
Grown up.
Andy comes up with these ideas that once you see it and once it's implemented, it's just like, oh, this is crazy, this is genius.
I like the fact that I'm trying to convince myself that I'm the evil.
Yeah, let's do that, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you're also broken. You're broken.
Yeah.
Like a cockroach on raid.
The idea was to get a small child to play the body part of Bill. And then we had a replica of the kid's body.
Oh,
And that was known as Pancake Head.
Pancake Head.
This is what is known in Stephen King's universe as the ritual of Chud. And the ritual of Chud is when you staple intergalactic entity's head to a piece of volcanic... Just like that. It worked!
Finally, he becomes the spider.
Oh. Seeing that actually come to life was sick.
At the end of the battle, in the first one we had like Pennywise as me. we needed to up that, you know, like they're adults, the physicality needs to be more threatening. So Andy came up with this creature that he essentially drew, which is my face, gigantic Pennywise face on this sort of spider-esque kind of body. Andy's so good with designing creatures.
I got the Pennywise spider. You want to see him?
Yeah. I really love this frame.
That art is
His
so
contributions
sick.
to the monster are really cool. You can see how he integrated the costume into the anatomy of the spider. And I also like the spirit of this drawing because it's grotesque and it's horrifying at the same time.
Seeing the spider actually coming to life.
At the end of the first movie, Pennywise for the first time feels fear himself. And that's why his last line in the movie is fear. It's him realizing what that feeling is.
Fear.
So he uses fear to sort of season the flesh, if you will. And he instills fear in children and in humans. But he never actually understood what that was because he's never felt it before himself. And I think that that is scary for him, but it's also a thrill. So there's a craving. He craves the losers that are now adults.
Very creepy, but very amazing.
Because if this creature and this entity has lived for millions and millions of years, it's a high to have an opponent that's matched him. I feel like the way this movie ends, at least from my perspective and the character, he plants things and there's reasons for why things are happening, and when the kids that are now adults, when they think they're in control, they're actually not in control. This is really scary. If you talk about Pennywise's own subconscious or its own subconscious, maybe wants to die or it wants to cease to exist. So at the
it's
very end of this
amazing.
movie, maybe that was his goal all along. And in that sense, Pennywise wins.
Shout out to the directors, the actors, and everyone that took part in making the remake of the It films. I enjoyed it so much, so shout out to you. But guys, that's the end of the video. I'm sorry if it spooked any of you guys. I wanted to do a behind the scene of a film. I just picked a film that I really enjoyed watching and thought I'd watch it. If you want me to see any more behind the scenes of any film that you guys want me to see and react to, let me know down in the comments. I will look at them once you've posted your comment, and I'll do a couple of videos of your guys' reviews, and I'll do them on the channel for you guys. So let me know down in the comments. But I can't say anything else. You saw me have a smile on my face all through this video. I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I would highly recommend, if you're not scared of clowns or not scared of horror, I would highly recommend anyone watching them if you haven't already. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it again very, very soon. Might do it this weekend, actually. Sounds like a plan. But this is your boy, Brad, SK22. Like, subscribe, press the bell so you are not missing a video once it's been uploaded. Until the next reaction, guys. Peace.